Judy slumped into her well-worn couch, the glow of her phone illuminating the dim room. Another Friday night, another round of disappointments scrolling through her dating app. She sighed, a mix of frustration and resignation washing over her as she swiped left, again and again. Ugh, why do I even bother, she muttered to herself, eyeing the parade of profiles, each one blurring into the next. Her cat, Mr. Whiskers, meowed sympathetically, curling up beside her. Judy gave him a half-hearted scratch behind the ears, her attention still tethered to her phone. Then a message pinged, breaking the monotony. It was from her friend Lisa, asking how her date went last night. Judy rolled her eyes, typing back a quick response. Let's just say, if I wanted to date a human calculator, I'd go to a math convention, Judy texted, the memory of her date itemizing their dinner bill still fresh in her mind. Lisa's laughing emoji response came quickly. You have the worst luck, Judy, but don't give up. Your Mr. Right is out there. Judy wasn't so sure. She glanced at Mr. Whiskers, who seemed more interested in his tale than her dating woes. What do you think, Whiskers? Is there a guy out there who doesn't treat dates like a business transaction or expect me to run a farm with him? Mr. Whiskers meowed, unhelpfully. Judy chuckled, taking solace in her furry companion's indifference. Determined to give it one more go, Judy swiped through a few more profiles. Nope. Oh wow, nope, she narrated, her finger mechanically dismissing candidates. Just as she was about to call it a night, a profile caught her eye. Gabriel, 34, enjoys beach walks, gourmet cooking and spontaneous adventures. His smile was warm, his eyes kind. Judy's finger hovered over the screen, torn between hope and skepticism. On paper, you're perfect, she whispered to Gabriel's digital image. But I've learned that paper is one thing, and reality is another. She hesitated, then, with a mix of curiosity and defiance, swiped right. What's the worst that could happen, she asked aloud, more to the universe than to Mr. Whiskers. The match notification was almost instant, sending a flicker of excitement through Judy. Looks like it's not just me and you tonight, Whiskers. We've got company, she said, opening the chat window to type her first message to Gabriel. Hi, Gabriel. I was about to give up on this app for the night, but your profile made me pause. Tell me, is the gourmet cooking part real, or just a way to impress potential dates? Judy hit send before she could second-guess herself. Gabriel's reply came quickly, a good sign. Hi, Judy. Haha, I assure you my cooking skills are real. I find cooking for others to be one of the best ways to connect. How about you? Any hidden talents? Judy smiled, typing back, I make a mean lasagna, and I'm a pretty good listener. Though I'll admit, my cat might disagree on the latter. And so it began, an exchange of messages that wove through the evening, each reply a stitch in a tapestry of shared laughter, interests, and perhaps the beginning of something more. Judy went to bed that night with a smile, wondering if, just maybe, she had finally swiped right on a chance at happiness. Judy awoke to the soft sunlight filtering through her curtains, a stark contrast to the darkness of her mood. The initial excitement from her conversation with Gabriel the night before had faded, replaced by the all-too-familiar echo of loneliness that filled her apartment. As she made her coffee, the silence felt oppressive, a reminder of her son's absence. It had been months since he moved out, getting married and starting his own life. Judy missed the noise, the chaos, and even the mess that came with having him around. Sipping her coffee, she scrolled through her phone, stopping at pictures of her son's wedding. You look so happy, she whispered to the smiling faces on the screen. Mr. Whiskers jumped onto the table, breaking her reverie. At least I have you, right, Judy said, scratching his head. The cat purred, indifferent to her emotional turmoil. Later that day, Judy's phone rang. It was her son, Mike. She answered with a tentative, Hey, how are you? Good. How about you, Mum? You sound a bit off. Mike's voice was full of concern. Judy hesitated, not wanting to burden her son with her loneliness. Oh, just one of those days. How's Sarah? She's great. We're actually heading out for a weekend getaway. I just wanted to check in on you before we leave. That sounds lovely. Have fun. And don't worry about me. I'm just going to relax this weekend. Judy forced a cheerfulness she didn't feel. Okay, Mum. Just remember you can always call me if you need anything, okay? I know, honey. Thank you. Love you. Love you too, Mum. Ko? Hanging up, Judy felt a pang of guilt for lying to her son about how she felt. She didn't want to be the needy mother, especially now that he had his own life. The rest of the day passed in a blur of chores and television. Judy tried to distract herself, but the quiet moments in between were the hardest. She found herself checking her phone often, hoping for a message from Gabriel or anyone, really, to break the silence. As evening approached, Judy made a simple dinner for one. Sitting at her dining table, she couldn't help but recall the days when it was full, her husband across from her, Mike chattering about his day at school. Now, the empty chairs served as a reminder of what was missing. After dinner, Judy settled on the couch, Whiskers in her lap. She turned on the TV, but the noise felt hollow. It was then that she made a decision. I can't keep doing this, she said aloud. Picking up her laptop, she opened a new tab and typed in the search bar, volunteer opportunities near me. It was time to fill the silence with something meaningful. Judy realized that while she might not be able to control the loneliness, she could choose not to be consumed by it. Judy's fingers hesitated over the keyboard, a mix of anticipation and anxiety swirling in her chest. She had never been one for bold moves, but the loneliness of the previous day was a wake-up call she couldn't ignore. As she browsed through various volunteer opportunities, a new message notification popped up from Gabriel. Her heart skipped a beat. Closing the volunteer tabs, she clicked on the message. Hey Judy, how's your day going? Found any hidden gourmet ingredients in your kitchen? Yet Gabriel's message read, light and teasing. Judy chuckled, the tension in her shoulders easing. Hi Gabriel. Just the usual suspects here. Though I did consider trying to make something out of canned beans and spaghetti. Think I can start a new cuisine trend. Gabriel's reply came quickly. Canned bean spaghetti. Sounds unique. I'd trust you to make it a delicacy though. Speaking of delicacies, ever tried your hand at making sushi? Their conversation flowed effortlessly, moving from culinary disasters to favorite movies, then dipping into more personal topics. Judy found herself opening up about her son, her recent feelings of isolation, and even her tentative plans to volunteer. Gabriel was a comforting presence, his words a balm to her aching soul. Volunteering sounds like a great idea, he typed. You have so much warmth and kindness to share, Judy. They'd be lucky to have you. Judy blushed at the compliment, feeling a warmth spread through her that had nothing to do with the wine she was sipping. Thank you, Gabriel. That means a lot, especially coming from a kindred spirit like you. As the night deepened, their conversation took a more serious turn. Gabriel shared his own experiences with loneliness, how moving to a new city for work had left him feeling disconnected. It's funny, he wrote, how we can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. Finding real connections is rare. Judy nodded to herself, struck by the truth in his words. It is rare and scary and worth every bit of the effort, she typed back. Their conversation lingered on the edge of something deeper, a mutual understanding and an unspoken question hanging in the digital space between them. Finally, Gabriel broke the silence. Judy, I know we've only been talking for a short while, but I feel a connection to you. I was wondering if you'd be open to a video call sometime? I'd love to put a voice to the words. Judy's heart raced. This was new territory, moving their budding relationship beyond the safety of text. Yet the idea of seeing Gabriel, hearing his voice, excited her more than it scared her. Taking a deep breath, she replied, I'd like that, Gabriel. Let's make it happen. As she set her phone down, Judy couldn't help the smile that danced on her lips. For the first time in a long while, she felt a spark of something new, a digital spark that promised to light up the darker corners of her world. Judy paced her living room, her heart pounding in her chest. The curtains were drawn back, letting in the soft glow of the late afternoon sun, creating a warm, inviting atmosphere. Or so she hoped. Today was the day she and Gabriel had agreed to have their first video call, and Judy couldn't remember the last time she was this nervous. She checked her reflection in the mirror for the umpteenth time, adjusting her blouse and smoothing down her hair. "It's just a video call, Judy," she muttered to herself, trying to calm her nerves. "You've seen his pictures, he's seen yours. What's the worst that could happen?" As if on cue, her computer pinged, signaling Gabriel was calling. Taking a deep breath, Judy clicked accept and watched as the screen flickered to life. "Hi, Judy." Gabriel's voice was warm, his smile genuine as his face appeared on her screen. He was sitting in what looked like a cozy living room, a bookshelf brimming with books in the background. Judy felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Hi, Gabriel. It's so nice to finally hear your voice." They fell into easy conversation, the initial awkwardness melting away as they shared stories, laughed at each other's jokes, and discovered even more common interests. Gabriel showed her his collection of rare cookbooks, and Judy gave him a virtual tour of her apartment, including a cameo by Mr. Whiskers. As the sun dipped lower, casting a golden hue over her living room, Judy realized they'd been talking for hours. "I can't believe how late it's gotten," she said, not wanting the call to end. "I know, time flies when you're having fun," Gabriel replied, a hint of reluctance in his voice. "Judy, I have something I want to ask you. Would you be interested in meeting in person? I understand if it's too soon, but I feel like we've connected on so many levels." Judy's heart skipped a beat. This was a leap of faith, meeting someone she'd only known through a screen. Yet every conversation, every shared moment and laugh had built a bridge of trust and curiosity between them. "Gabriel, I'd like that," she said, her voice steady. "I think meeting in person is the next step for us." "Great. How about New Year's? I could come to your city, and we can welcome the new year together. It would be a chance to start fresh, for both of us," Gabriel suggested, his eyes shining with excitement. Judy felt a thrill of anticipation at the thought. New Year's sounds perfect. It's a date then. They spent the next few minutes discussing details and making plans before reluctantly saying their goodbyes. Judy closed her laptop, a wide smile on her face. She hadn't felt this alive in years. Taking a chance on Gabriel on them felt right. It was a leap of faith, but Judy was ready to jump. As she went to bed that night, Judy couldn't help but feel grateful for the unexpected twist her life had taken. The echo of loneliness that had been her constant companion seemed quieter now, overshadowed by the promise of new beginnings and the excitement of what was to come. The morning of New Year's Eve dawned clear and bright, a crisp freshness in the air that hinted at new beginnings. Judy woke up feeling a blend of excitement and nerves. Today was the day Gabriel was coming to town, and their digital connection would face the test of reality. She busied herself with preparations, cleaning her apartment until it sparkled, arranging a small assortment of snacks, and choosing her outfit with care. Every now and then she'd check her phone for updates. Gabriel had texted her early in the morning, saying he was on his way, and the anticipation built with each passing hour. When the doorbell finally rang, Judy's heart leapt into her throat. She took a deep breath, smoothing down her dress before opening the door. There he was, just as she'd seen him through their video chats, but somehow more real, more vibrant. Gabriel stood with a nervous smile, holding a bouquet of flowers. "Hi, Judy," he said, his voice carrying a mix of excitement and anxiety. "Hi, Gabriel. Wow, those are beautiful, thank you," she replied, stepping aside to let him in. The initial awkwardness soon gave way to laughter and easy conversation, much like their online interactions. They decided to take a walk, enjoying the crisp winter air and the festive atmosphere of the city gearing up for New Year's celebrations. As they strolled through the park, bundled up against the cold, they shared stories about their families, their dreams, and even the fears that had held them back. "Judy, I have to admit, I was worried this might be awkward, but I feel like I've known you forever," Gabriel said, his breath forming clouds in the cold air. "I feel the same way. It's strange how you can connect with someone so deeply without ever having met them in person," Judy replied, her heart swelling with a sense of rightness about their meeting. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Gabriel stopped and turned to face Judy. "I don't want this day to end. Would you join me for dinner? I know this great place that serves the best Italian food." Judy smiled, her decision made in the warmth of the moment. "I'd love to." Dinner was a delightful affair, filled with delicious food, wine, and laughter. As they talked, it became clear to Judy that Gabriel was everything she'd hoped for and more. He was kind, thoughtful, and genuine, with a sense of humor that matched her own. When midnight approached, they found themselves on the rooftop of Judy's apartment building, watching fireworks light up the sky, heralding the arrival of the new year. Gabriel took her hand, and Judy felt a jolt of electricity at the contact. "Happy New Year," Judy Gabriel said, turning to her with a smile that lit up his eyes. "Happy New Year, Gabriel," she replied, her heart full of hope and joy. In that moment, as they stood together under the starlit sky, Judy felt a profound sense of gratitude for the leap of faith that had brought them together. The loneliness that had once seemed an insurmountable part of her life was now a distant memory, replaced by the promise of sunlit days ahead. The glow of the new year lingered like a warm halo around Judy and Gabriel as they ventured deeper into their relationship. The initial awkwardness of their first meeting had blossomed into a comfortable, joyous connection, one that Judy cherished with every beat of her heart. Yet, as the days passed, she began to notice subtle shifts in Gabriel's demeanor, tiny clouds that occasionally marred their sunlit days. It was a small thing at first. Gabriel's phone would ring, and he'd step away to take the call, his brow furrowing with tension upon his return. Judy noticed but chose not to pry, respecting his privacy. However, the frequency of these interruptions grew, and with them, so did the shadows of doubt in Judy's mind. One evening, while they were enjoying a quiet dinner at Judy's place, Gabriel's phone buzzed relentlessly on the table. He ignored it at first, but as it continued, his agitation became apparent. "Is everything okay?" Judy finally asked, concern lacing her voice. Gabriel sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It's nothing, just work stuff. I'm sorry, I should have turned it off." Judy nodded, though the seed of worry had been planted. "If you need to talk about it, I'm here," she offered gently. Gabriel smiled weakly. "I know, Judy, and I appreciate it. It's just complicated." The incident passed, but the pattern continued. There were moments when Gabriel seemed distant, lost in thought, and Judy's attempts to breach the walls he put up were met with gentle deflections. The true test came a few weeks later, during the wedding of Gabriel's nephew. The celebration was a grand affair, filled with laughter, dancing, and joy. Yet, as the night progressed, Judy watched as Gabriel, who had been the life of the party, slowly unraveled with each drink he took. It started with loud, boisterous laughter and stories that edged on brash. Then came the sharp remarks, a biting edge to his humor that left those around him uneasy. Judy's heart sank as she watched, the man she cared for slipping away into someone she barely recognized. "Gabriel, maybe you should slow down on the drinks," she suggested quietly, touching his arm. Gabriel's reaction was swift, his eyes flashing with irritation. "I'm fine, Judy. It's a party, I'm supposed to have fun, right?" The evening took a darker turn when Gabriel, now clearly intoxicated, started a heated argument with another guest. His words were harsh, his demeanor aggressive. Judy intervened, trying to calm the situation, but her efforts only seemed to fuel Gabriel's anger. In the car ride home, the silence was suffocating. Judy's mind raced with confusion and fear, the shadows of doubt now full-blown storm clouds threatening to engulf their relationship. "Gabriel, what happened back there?" She finally broke the silence, her voice trembling. Gabriel's response was a mix of defensiveness and remorse. "I don't know, Judy. I lost it. I'm sorry you had to see that." Judy wanted to reach out, to understand and help, but the incident had opened a chasm between them, filled with unspoken fears and questions. That night, as she lay in bed next to Gabriel, listening to his troubled sleep, Judy realized the sunlit days they'd shared were now overshadowed by the complexity of real life, with all its imperfections and challenges. The leap of faith that had brought them together was now a leap into the unknown, and Judy found herself standing on the edge, wondering if she had the courage to jump once more. The morning after the wedding was heavy with unspoken words. Judy and Gabriel moved around each other in silence, the air thick with the remnants of last night's altercation. Judy brewed coffee, her mind a tumultuous sea of thoughts. Gabriel sat at the kitchen table, staring into the void, the lines on his face deeper, carved by regret and too many apologies left unsaid. Finally, Judy broke the silence, her voice barely above a whisper. "Gabriel, we need to talk about what happened." Gabriel looked up, his eyes weary, "I know. I'm so sorry, Judy. I don't know what got into me. That's not who I am." "But that's just it, Gabriel. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe it is. If maybe I've only seen the side of you that you wanted to show me." Judy's voice trembled, not in anger, but in fear of what her words implied. Gabriel's response was defensive, a reflex to protect himself from her accusations. "You think you have me all figured out from one bad night." "It's not just about last night, Gabriel. It's about all the times you've shut me out, the phone calls, the mood swings. I'm trying to understand, but you're not letting me in." Judy's frustration spilled over, her desire for transparency clashing with his walls. Gabriel sighed, the fight draining out of him. "I've been dealing with a lot at work, and I guess I haven't been handling it as well as I thought. I didn't want to burden you with it." "But I want to share those burdens, Gabriel. That's what being in a relationship is about. It's about facing the good and the bad together. I can't do that if you won't let me," Judy pleaded, her heart aching for the connection they were losing. Gabriel stood, his movements slow, as if carrying a weight on his shoulders. "I know you do, and I wish I could be what you need. But I'm not sure I know how to be that person right now." The honesty in his words was a cold splash of reality. Judy realized that their sunlit days couldn't illuminate the deeper issues they faced. Love, she understood, was not just about the joyful moments but also about weathering storms together. And if Gabriel wasn't ready to let her into his storms, then perhaps their paths were meant to diverge. Maybe it's best if we take a step back, give each other some space to figure things out," Judy suggested, each word slicing through her heart. Gabriel nodded, the sorrow in his eyes mirroring her own. "Maybe you're right. I'm sorry, Judy. I never wanted to hurt you." The words hung between them, a testament to their failed attempt to bridge the gap. The decision to break away, while painful, felt like the only option left. As Gabriel gathered his things and left, Judy watched him go, feeling a piece of her heart leave with him. In the silence that followed, Judy sat at the now empty kitchen table, allowing herself to grieve for the future they wouldn't have. The breakaway, though necessary, left her feeling unmoored, adrift in the sea of her thoughts and emotions. Yet, amidst the tumult, a whisper of hope lingered, the belief that sometimes letting go was the first step towards finding oneself again. In the days following Gabriel's departure, Judy found herself navigating through a fog of mixed emotions. The apartment felt eerily silent, a stark reminder of the void left by his absence. She busied herself with work and volunteered more frequently, trying to fill the gaps in her day that were once occupied by laughter and conversations with Gabriel. One evening, as Judy sat alone sipping tea, her phone rang. It was her son, Mike, checking in as he often did. His voice, filled with concern, pierced through the remnants of Judy's solitude. "Hey, Mum, how are you holding up? You sound a bit off." Mike's voice echoed through the line, a lifeline thrown in the vast sea of Judy's loneliness. Judy hesitated, the truth teetering on the edge of her tongue. Finally, she decided to let it fall. "It's been tough, Mike. Gabriel and we decided to go our separate ways." The silence that followed was heavy, filled with unasked questions and concern. "I'm sorry to hear that, Mum. Do you want to talk about it?" Mike's offer was gentle, an open door for Judy to walk through. In the following minutes, Judy poured her heart out, recounting the joy of their initial meeting, the sunlit days, and the eventual shadows of doubt that led to their separation. Mike listened, his presence a steady anchor in the tumult of Judy's emotions. "Mom, I know it's hard, but maybe it's for the best. You've always said that honesty and trust are the pillars of a relationship. If those were missing, then maybe this break is a step towards finding something better." Mike's words were wise, a soothing balm to Judy's bruised heart. Judy pondered his words, a slow realization dawning upon her. "You're right, Mike. It's just, I had hoped Gabriel could be a part of my life, my journey. But I suppose some paths are meant to be walked alone, at least for a while. Mike's voice was supportive, and that's okay, Mum. You're strong, and you've got so much love to give. This isn't the end of your journey, it's just a new beginning. Their conversation left Judy with a sense of clarity and resolution. She understood now that her relationship with Gabriel, though brief, had taught her invaluable lessons about love, trust, and the importance of self-discovery. In the days that followed, Judy found herself returning to her passions with a renewed vigor. She threw herself into her volunteer work, finding solace in the joy it brought to others. She reconnected with old friends, their laughter and support filling her home with warmth and life once again. One evening, as Judy sat by her window, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink, she reflected on the journey she had undertaken. The breakaway from Gabriel, though painful, had opened her eyes to the beauty of self-reliance and the importance of nurturing one's own soul before intertwining it with another's. Here's to new beginnings, Judy whispered to the fading light, a toast to herself and the unwritten chapters of her life, waiting to be filled with adventures, laughter and love on her own terms. The resolution to find joy in her own company, to rebuild her life with herself as the foundation, was a powerful one. Judy understood now that while companionship was beautiful, the most profound relationship she could cultivate was the one with herself. And with this realization, she stepped forward into her future, her heart open to whatever came next, secure in the knowledge that she was enough, just as she was. Months had passed since Judy made the difficult decision to step away from her relationship with Gabriel. The seasons changed, bringing with them a transformation, not just in the world around her but within Judy herself. She had embraced her solitude, finding strength in the silence that she once feared. Her days were filled with purpose, her volunteer work and hobbies weaving a rich tapestry of life that was entirely her own. One crisp autumn afternoon, as Judy walked through the park, the leaves crunching underfoot, her phone rang. It was her son, Mike, his voice brimming with excitement. "Hey, Mum, guess what? Sarah and I are expecting." Judy's heart swelled with joy. "Oh, Mike, that's wonderful news. Congratulations." The happiness in Mike's announcement was infectious, and as they spoke about future plans, baby names, and the joys and challenges of parenthood awaiting them, Judy felt a profound sense of contentment. Her family was growing, and with it, her heart. After the call, Judy continued her walk, her steps light with the news of the new life on the horizon. She found herself reflecting on the journey that had brought her to this point. The pain of the past seemed distant now, a chapter in her story that had led to growth and newfound resilience. Sitting on a bench, Judy watched as families played together, couples walked hand in hand, and individuals like herself enjoyed the peace of the park. It was a beautiful tapestry of life, each thread unique but part of a larger whole. "Life is full of surprises, isn't it?" Judy said aloud, though there was no one to hear her. "Yes, it is," came a response, surprising Judy. She turned to see an older woman sitting at the other end of the bench, a kind smile on her face. "I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just thinking out loud," Judy apologized. "No need to apologize. I was doing the same before you arrived. It's a beautiful day for reflections," the woman said, her eyes twinkling with warmth. They struck up a conversation, sharing bits and pieces of their lives. The woman, Eleanor, was a widow who had found solace in painting, capturing the beauty of the world around her on canvas. As Judy listened to Eleanor's stories, she realized how much she had in common with this stranger. They were both on journeys of self-discovery, finding joy in the little moments and strength in their independence. When it was time to part ways, Eleanor said, "It was lovely meeting you, Judy. Remember, life's horizon is vast, and there's so much beauty waiting to be discovered. Keep looking forward, dear." Judy smiled, touched by the encounter. "Thank you, Eleanor. I will. Take care." As Judy walked home, her heart felt lighter than it had in months. The conversation with Eleanor had been a reminder of the unexpected connections that life can bring, the shared experiences that bind us, and the endless possibilities that lie on the horizon. That night, Judy penned a letter to Gabriel. not to rekindle what was lost, but to offer closure and gratitude for the role he had played in her journey. She wrote of her growth, her newfound happiness, and her wishes for his own path to fulfillment. Sealing the letter, Judy felt a sense of peace. The horizon beyond was vast and unknown, but she was ready to meet it head-on, with an open heart and the knowledge that whatever came her way, she had the strength to embrace it. As the seasons continued to change, Judy's life flourished in ways she never expected. New friendships, deeper connections with her family, and a sense of self that was unshakable. The horizon beyond was bright, filled with the promise of new adventures, love, and the endless beauty of a life lived fully and fearlessly. Let us know in the comments how this story has inspired you, or share your own experiences of overcoming adversity. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-touching stories like this one. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest uploads. Your journey through the complexities of the human heart starts now. Remember, your story isn't over yet. It's just a new chapter beginning. Stay strong, stay inspired.